Welcome, world, to the 2021 year of the Rebelle Rally. This is the 6th edition. We are live at Tech Inspection today on the Hoover Dam. I am one of your co-hosts, Rachelle Croft, and I'm here with Matthew Johnson.
Yeah, totally stoked to be here at the Hoover Dam. As you can see, that just really cool drone shot from up above. Anyone who hasn't been to the Hoover Dam recently, I recommend it. They've repaved the cross over the top. You can see everything really well, and it's unique that the water level is this low, so it's a bit of a different view if you've been in the past. But what a great day, and we're pretty thankful for the cloud cover today, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I'm not... I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'll take it. One of the coolest things about this year for 2021 is, sadly, Katie is trapped in New Zealand, so due to travel restrictions, she's not here, so we will not be hearing her glorious Kiwi accent. However, we found a pretty good replacement in Rachelle Croft. From 2019, your Rebelle winner, and last year, your runner-up. So it's my pleasure to be able to sit here and quiz her about what's going to be going on in the teams this year.
Thanks, Matt. I will do my best to try to get in those brains, think about the strategy that's going on in those cars, maybe conversations that we shouldn't be a part of that might be interesting to think about. But yeah, as Matt said, my name is Rachelle Croft. Thanks for having me. This is Matthew Johnson. For those of you who don't know, he's a professional driver. Figured out how to do that at a young age because you just couldn't stop speeding everywhere here. And also just all-around automotive expert. I love walking the line with you and hearing your knowledge on the cars and the details of them, how they work, different manufacturers. It's going to be awesome. So, husband, father, you are married to Chrissy Beavis, who is the scoring director of this Rebelle Rally. Just awesome human being. So I'm really excited to be with you.
Thanks. Wow, that's a nice intro. Thank you so much, Rachelle. So I'm married to Chrissy, who's had a scoring, and they had to figure out something to do with me. So here I am. Such a pleasure to have Rachelle Croft here. If you already know the name, it could be from her work with her husband, Clay, where they started XO, which is Expedition Overland, and they've been making incredible overlanding videos since 2010 or so when they started that business. So you should go check it out, Expedition Overland, after our show today if it's new for you.
Thanks, Matt. Weather's pretty sweet. The teams are excited. There's a lot of energy in the air. This is going to be a really good year. It's our biggest year ever. It is.
52 teams. So last year it was 34-ish or so. And speaking of last year, we managed to have this event come off the year of COVID. And it took amazing. A lot. It took a lot, and a lot from Emily to make that all happen. But she called everybody on the phone months before, and she said, do not give up that time. We are having a rally. And, we had lots of guidelines to meet. We work with, I wrote it down somewhere, 5 different Bureau of Land Management areas, 3 different states, different national parks. Like, the list of different permits that it takes for this event to happen is lengthy. And to be able to make that happen in the middle of COVID is a true accomplishment and a true testament to Emily's commitment to this event that we got to do that last year.
Absolutely. If anyone knows Emily, you know that if she hears, oh, that can't be done, that's just fuel to her fire.
Yep. So as soon as she gets off the phone, I wish I could hear what she says under her breath when someone tells her that. Once in a while, we'll get that great drone footage here of the Hoover Dam. I feel like we should start with a couple of tidbits about the Hoover Dam.
I would love to know.
This Hoover Dam is your mid-1930s model. I believe it was finished in 1935. And that baby you're looking at there has 1.835 million horsepower. Yep, that's what's on the banner, horsepower. 1.835 million horsepower. Wow. And like I said, built in 1935, from 31 to 35. I almost looked up how many people fell to their death in the construction of this, because it's a fact about San Francisco,
really?
Like Golden Gate Bridge, but
sure.
I was like, I'll leave that out.
That's a good one to leave out. I want to know how much concrete it took to build that.
I'm sure that's a fact there as well. Anyway, it's really cool to just be here and not be a tourist that just comes, looks, and leaves.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of able to soak up the environment.
Yeah, this is really special. I think the last time I was here, I was 5. and I vaguely remember anything about it. So it's an incredible drive. If you haven't done the drive around Lake Mead, it's a really awesome experience. I'd highly recommend it. It is worth the drive for sure.
Coming from the East Coast personally, this kind of landscape never fails to just leave me in awe. When you're East Coast, you've got trees everywhere. You can't see very far off. And here you could be looking at 50 miles away or something, and it's just hard to perceive that. And like looking down the Hoover Dam feels like that also.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got Tracy in my ear. I have all kinds of noises now in my head that weren't there before. Pretty excited about that for the next 10 days. She's telling me, as we talked about COVID year coming off of 2020, that was an amazing year. There was, I believe, about 32 teams, where this year we have 52 teams. But they've got an awesome highlight reel video from the 2020 year. So we're going to have a look at that. welcome back. As mentioned before, I am one of your co-hosts for the Rebelle Rally live show. My name is Rachelle Croft. I'm here with Matthew Johnson, and we just saw there some 2020 highlights from the 5th anniversary edition of the Rebelle Rally.
Last year was incredible. And speaking of, if you don't know, if you weren't following us last year, Rachelle was second last year. She won in 19 and then was second last year. And we got to see the Lexus you were driving last year in the video there.
We did.
And it is a coincidence, Lexus is our live show sponsor this year, so thank you, Lexus. Would you like to tell us about your ride? You used it for 2 different events, right?
So Lexus approached us last year with a really fun, exciting project for Clay, myself, and Expedition Overland. We had crew from Cruiser Outfitters out of Salt Lake to build an incredible concept vehicle that kind of gave the nod to the off-road enthusiasts, overlanding enthusiasts. And when you look at a Lexus, you might not always think, oh, I could go put that beast in 4 low and go tackle some rocks or some sand. And that was the myth they wanted to break with that. So we were able to build up this vehicle with some awesome partners. And then the debut of that vehicle was last year at the 2020 Rebelle Rally.
Yeah, I was really jealous. It's got a really cool front bumper, custom front bumper on it. We're so pleased to have Lexus as a sponsor this year. I have one to drive around as well. And for those that don't know, Lexus really is, a luxury brand from Toyota.
Yep.
And those new to off-road will soon discover Toyota's off-road history. In a lot of ways, genesis of a lot of the off-roading we see today and overlanding that we see today.
Absolutely. So last year, I will say, was different because I feel like it was one of the hardest years of the Rebelle. And I feel like even Emily has maybe admitted that a time or two.
Okay.
So it'll be awesome to see what this year looks like. If we're going to go, how many miles the teams are going to go or kilometers. And the amount of teams overall, as mentioned before, is already higher. This is our biggest year with 52 teams.
Yeah, 52 teams. And then 50. So 52 teams means 104 competitors. Over half of those are rookies.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then
That's
we've got
amazing.
20 rookie teams, rookie driver and co-driver.
I'll have to do the math on that because there's a lot of rookies that have paired up with the previous year Rebelle. So we need to go back and count, and we'll get you guys the final count on the absolute rookie teams.
So the fun stuff is we have loads of details and information and facts and figures and all that. But for folks that are super new to this is the longest off-road rally in the United States. It happens to be a rally configured around women doing it, but it's just the longest off-road rally in the U.S. It's 10 days starting this morning, 7 days of competition. We've got 190 checkpoints that they're going to get to. They're going to signal their tracker. We're going to tell you about the trackers. We're going to tell you about how all the goings and comings of this competition works as we go.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible journey, and I just want to speak to the caliber of women that come out and compete in this. It takes kind of a special person to look at something like this and think, oh, that looks fun. So you get 100 of those women together in one place, and it is an incredible experience. As Matthew was talking about some of the stats, we've got some stats for you that'll pop up on the screen for this year's rally. Look at that, 2,275 kilometers. I am not quick at math, so I'm not going to convert that to miles.
I've got the average. It's around 1,400 miles.
Okay. And
that's if you drive it the shortest path. There's lots of ways to make that way longer if you want, if your navigation is struggling.
That is true. As you said, we have 104 competitors, 4 base camps, which I think 3 of those are new base camps this year.
They are. There's lots of, Hoover Dam is new where we're starting the event. There's 3 complete days that are in totally new areas, and just all new terrain and a new way to do this event. So to keep our original Rebelles interested in coming back for more.
Yep. And that's one of the questions I get asked a lot is, well, is it the same? Do you do the same course every year? And the answer is basically no. I mean, it might be in some of the same areas, but the course changes. And Emily and Jimmy Lewis, who is the course director, do a fantastic job of going out, scouting those roads for months on end sometimes.
Sure.
I think that'd be a really fun part of the job, actually.
Yeah, I think it is. They do spend ages out there on the roads so that the teams can go out and have a challenge and find some of the checkpoints. Let's back it up a bit and talk about day one here of the 10-day run we're going to have. Let's show you a bit about how today started, where we were at the hotel, and what came into tech inspection here. It's beautiful there, the Lake Las Vegas. I'll tell you, when I showed up to the West End, I went in, I might have gone near the bar, and I realized I was severely underdressed to be in a place this nice. I'm like, I've packed to be playing in the dirt for 10 days, and like this just feels very out of space for me.
Yep, so what you're seeing there is this morning's rally school. That is where all of the competitors are in one room. They get all of the same information at the very same time. That is very important to the strategy of this rally, because the number one goal is to have a safe, fair rally for all competitors. So everyone can ask any question that they want. That is the time to do so.
And they all hear the same answer. They're all on the same page and everything. So here we are at tech inspection. You'll see the kind of different tables and people set up on the right side there. There's lots of different stages to tech inspection. We get stickers on the vehicles. We go through disconnecting GPS devices and going through the prohibited items list, which we're going to talk more about. We install the trackers that use the Iridium network to help us see where the competitors are and to keep score, to help us keep score.
Absolutely. And for those of you who may not know, the Rebelle Rally is a non-GPS allowed rally. These are maps and compasses. That is it. So when Matt talks about prohibited items, they've got to claim those iPhones, those Apple Watches. Even if you have an electronic compass or GPS on your watch, it's got to go.
Scientific calculator.
Oh, no binoculars. You can't get out there and scout for those flags.
Right. No image magnifying tools.
Nope.
Right. And now we talked briefly earlier. You said you were a little bit jealous. You weren't so sad to give away your devices, because I think it sounds scary for a lot of people. And we're definitely going to see some teams kind of like dealing with the fact that they've just let go of all of their connection to the rest of the world. But tell me what that's like. I'm sure it's a little bit annoying at first, right? But then, like, what is it, day two? You're like,
Oh, yeah. So, to be honest, that's my favorite part about the Rebelle as a competitor, is I get to turn in my phone for 10 days, and it's off. And I can completely shut my brain off to all of the distractions of the world and focus on just this for 10 days. And best feeling ever. So I'm grieving that a little bit being on staff, because I do get to keep my phone. But
yeah, for sure. I'm jealous as well. I'd love to just give away my devices and deal with that and just relax and, focus on that. So getting through the paperwork here, our trackers from YB.
Yep, that's a yellow brick tracker. The team actually used that device there to check in to their checkpoints. So when they think they're at the right spot, some marked by a green flag, a blue flag, or a black CP was not marked, they click that tracker, and that is how the scoring is
right
done.
We're going to talk about our green checkpoints, our black diamond checkpoints, and all that. One of the coolest things about those trackers we're also going to show you is that's the way when they go and press and score at a checkpoint, if you're following along the scores online, it updates immediately. So we're going to talk a lot more about how to follow us and the scoring and all that here soon.
Absolutely. All right, so with that, you've seen what we're in right now with tech inspection. We are going to cut to commercial.
Cool. I'm glad she's stoked.
Built to be portable, rugged. Iridium and Iridium connected devices deliver peace of mind for you and your loved ones through real-time two-way voice calling, text messaging, photo sharing, social, GPS, even in the most remote locations. Choose from a selection of products ranging from satellite phones to Bluetooth-enabled hotspots made by the brands you trust to call home. Share the moment. or get help when needed. So, get out, take a hike, seize the day, but stay connected. Iridium, your world, our network.
Hi, I'm Justin from Wagan Tech, a company that's been in the Bay Area of California for over 37 years. As an automotive lifestyle company, we provide products that give you power, comfort, and convenience for the road ahead. Power means having a hot cup of coffee no matter where you are. Comfort is enjoying your trip. Convenience is having the tools you need when you need it. With Wagan Tech, you'll always be road ready.
Really incredible view. In fact, the top of the Hoover Dam, where you drive across, and at our level, is 1,300 feet above sea level, roundabouts. And when you look down to the bottom, down to the rest of the Colorado River there, you're looking 700 feet down below you, and the river is at around 500 feet elevation. More facts I looked up earlier.
That's awesome. All right, well, since we're at Tech, we've got Harry, who is our other host. You are going to see him throughout the next 10 days, walking around the vehicles. You'll be with him every morning, as well as us. So we're going to throw it to Harry and see what's going on out there.
Thanks, Rachelle. We're here at Tech Inspection, as you mentioned, and for those that are familiar with Tech at events like Dakar or other rally raids, you might be familiar with it. But if you're not, then it can be a bit intimidating. And Tech Inspection, much like the rally itself, is easier when you break it down into small components. So there's a bunch of stations you have to stop at along the way, and we're going to go to those today and talk to the folks about what you have to do in order to pass Tech. So Melly here is at the navigation test station, and what do teams have to do when they come here, Melly?
Hi, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. So teams are coming up here and they're taking one of each of the papers here on the table. There's a CP guide, there is a bulletin, a road book for tomorrow, a map set, a drawing of all the maps, and then a map list of the scales. And then they're testing for if they are able to plot and navigate a point if they have to. Most of the Rebelles this year have gone through training and they haven't needed to test, but they can if they want to. And then they sign an affidavit and off they go.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Melly. And we have teams that have done this all 6 years of the Rebelle Rally. We have other teams that are rookies. Half the field is made up of rookies this year. So a wide variety of backgrounds and skill sets. And we want to equip them with all the tools necessary in order to be necessary. So another section that's here is prohibited items. Teams... We'll talk about these when we come.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Thanks, Harry, for that update. It's pretty awesome to see everything that's going on in Tech Inspection. All right, well, if you do not recognize this amazing woman beside me, this is the owner, creator, founder of the one and only Rebelle Rally, Emily Miller. It is my privilege to sit here with you today.
Oh, it's my privilege to sit here with you. Nice to see you in this position.
Well, thank you. Thanks for asking. I appreciate it. So this is the 6th year of the Rebelle. I would love to hear, why did you start the Rebelle Rally?
You know, I really wanted to create a world-class rally that would be a platform for stock manufactured vehicles and for women. When I was competing, oftentimes I was the only woman out there, or one of very few women out there. I was very fortunate to also learn navigation. And I really felt that was an extremely important skill. And so I wanted to create a rally in the United States. I've been to some amazing places around the world and competed outside of the U.S., but I feel like we have the most iconic, amazing terrain, you know, on the planet, especially, you know, off-road. So I wanted to be here right in the U.S. So we started the Rebelle.
That's amazing. And I first met you back in 2011. Emily was the amazing woman who got me into my first rally in Morocco. And
I remember that well.
I competed in that 3 times. Were you 3 times there as well?
3 times. And I also went over, let's see, I think 8 total years and helped people compete. Was on the podium there, but then just went back and did the Carta Rally back in Morocco 2 years ago.
That one looked amazing.
Yeah, it was great. So I love to travel. I love doing it, but I also love seeing the excitement of people doing it in the vehicles they own, and making it happen.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite parts of the rally, is that people, that's one of the questions I get, and I'm sure you get it. Well, you probably have to have like some tricked out race car to do this rally. And I say, no, the vehicle in your driveway is more than capable to handle this rally with good driving.
It is. Smart driving, smart navigating, using good skill, good tire placement, etc. But I think people don't realize that these vehicles that we see here today, they're designed to do this. They're designed to do more than just sit in a traffic jam and commute to the office.
I love that. I also want to speak to, there was a very amazing person who mentored you a lot in making this whole thing happen, and that was the amazing Rod Hall.
Yes.
So I don't know if a lot of people know that you raced and rallied with him.
Yes, I did. I was really fortunate to be a driver for Rod. I was trained by Rod. We worked together for many years, coached together, and I've spent so many great miles with him. And he really encouraged me to do this. And when other people told me, hey, this can't be done, he said, don't listen to that. You can do this, and you need to do this. So ladies, we owe a lot. Owe it all. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the influence of Rod Hall.
That's amazing. I think everyone, including myself, we all need someone in our lives that will hear those ideas, not think we're crazy, and instead tell us to go for it.
Yes.
So,
totally.
Awesome. All right, so this is the 6th year of the Rebelle Rally. What are you most excited for this year? What can you say?
Ooh, I can't say too much yet. They might be able to hear me.
Yeah, true.
The thing I'm the most excited about is we're in some really new places. Our first base camp and our first stages are extremely remote, very remote. And we have never been there before. We have 3 new base camp sites that we have never base camped at, and then 4 other of our stages have all new course sections in part of those stages. So there's a lot of new terrain out there and really fun to drive. That's the thing that I think Jimmy Lewis and I love the most about this, is that it is fun driving this year.
I've always appreciated that about these rallies, is as a driver, it is so much fun. Yeah. And I think this is a great segue. Speaking of Jimmy Lewis, who is your course director, and I know you two work endless hours to put this together. I think we have a video from Jimmy to talk about some of that.
Great.
All right.
My name is Jimmy Lewis. I'm the course director at the Rebelle Rally. I am a washed-up ex-motorcycle racer. I won the Baja 1000 once with Johnny Campbell. I've finished on the podium in the Dakar Rally back when it was in Africa. In being the course director, I've worked with Emily from the beginning when she told me she had this crazy idea, and she had a really good base of where she wanted it to go, and there was a lot of areas that I was very familiar with. Scouting the course was, first it was done in our heads, and then it was done on paper maps and things, and then there were certain sections that we actually had to go out and drive. And not only just knowing where to go, but knowing how to set checkpoints, what was involved in that. So I had to really rethink my navigation, bone up on my navigation skills. I'm used to doing it more with map books and GPS and riding fast, where this is slow down, think about it, understand how to triangulate things, how to measure distances, understanding terrain features and things, using paper maps, using analog compasses. So it put a whole new effect into the way you saw the land, the way you kind of absorbed it. So actually going out and running some of the stages that we built and then correcting it based on this is the way the competition is going to take place. That's the real challenge in this. When you actually find a point and you know how difficult it is, and that's kind of cool. And I think you're going to get to that maybe up to 23 times in a single day if you're good. You could have a really great day or a bad day.
It's always fun listening to Jimmy's experience and all the things that have come together that have allowed him to have the experience and the vision for how to put checkpoints together. And he always seems to know where he is also. He can always point the right direction of some mountain 100 miles away from here. I went, by the way, and took Jimmy's motorcycle riding class. We could talk about that later. I'm told that Harry has some new information for us. He's over at Iridium, and hopefully we'll hear a little bit about their network. I know it was recently upgraded, like last year, with a bunch of new satellites and technology. And like we said before, that is a piece that really is a hinge point of this event happening like it does. So, Harry, are you out there?
Hey.
Are the mics up? All right, mics are up. We had a few technical difficulties here. Bear with us. This is also a rally for the staff and the technical team.
Right, yeah.
Because
today.
we're live from the Hoover Dam, which you don't see every day. So hopefully we will get back to Harry pretty quickly here.
Yeah, we will. We're going to solve those issues. If you were watching last year, you'll see that Harry had a fair bit of those same issues that he was scrambling around last year too. It is what it is out here in the field, coming to you live. That reminds you of how organic a live show really, really is.
Yep. Hopefully we'll get back to him soon. He's posted up at the Iridium station where the cars all come through. That Iridium really helps us out with safety on the course, with tracking. If it wasn't for that, I don't think this type of rally would be possible.
No, and the safety is the biggest thing. We've got so there's two trackers in the cars, and I'm sure we're going to cover this later, but one of the trackers, the competitors probably don't even know where it is. It's zip tied in the car, and that allows us, we know no one's touching it or, going to turn it off or anything like that, and we can see how fast they're going. We can see how many seconds it's been since the vehicle moved. So we know how long it's been stationary. All this information helps us just make a good judgment that this team is fine, or this team, maybe they've got a flat, or maybe we'll get some staff to go throw eyes on them just to know exactly what's going on. They're also equipped with satellite phones in the vehicles as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that's a great point. So each team in their car is given a satellite phone, the tracker, as well as their yellow brick to score their checkpoints. In case of an emergency, they have all of those options. There's SOS buttons, there's a satellite phone, there's dispatch that is not even on site, that is watching all of this and making sure everyone is having a safe rally.
And we talk about prohibited items, so we have to give the cell phones away, right? But they're with you, aren't they? Each team's cell phones and things that they're prohibited to use is actually in a bag in their vehicle with them, right?
It is. So, yep, for that reason, if there is an emergency, they can cut that tape, rip that phone out. Then they have sat phones and iPhones. With that being said, we are at a lot of places where there is no cell service.
Yeah, not usually.
So it's a gamble. But,
yeah, sure.
That's what the satellite phone is for.
Now, have you had to break out your satellite phone, get some help?
I never have.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, great.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. But if there's a mechanical out there or something like that, and we could go over the rules for that, but I don't believe there's a penalty for picking up that phone if it's a genuine safety concern. If it's something where they're going to need some assistance, then obviously there's some penalty associated with how that works, because the whole idea is that you're out there using maybe some teammates and some other teams for a little bit of help if you really have to have it. But the idea is to be very self-sufficient. Each team's got all their water and all their food, and for the marathon leg that you're going to hear about later, they've got their tents and everything they need to camp overnight with them.
Absolutely right. Okay, so Tracy, the voice in my head, is telling me that we are going to try cutting to Harry again to show you guys exactly what's going on over there.
All right, third time's a charm. When you're the new person on the team, you have to get hazed, which is what's happening here today at Tech Inspection. But we're back live now, in line with all the teams. So I'm nestled between some Toyotas here, and there's a Ford behind me and a Jeep. Jeep, most popular vehicle at the rally. The four-door JKs and JLs seem to be super popular, but we've seen a number of two-doors out here. Well, they're shorter and more nimble, but the trade-off is not as much room for all your gear or stable on steep ascents and descents like we see when we're in Glamis. So the team behind us here, the Luna Chicks, in their Forerunner. This is your third year, right?
It's my third year. Yep. It's my third year. It's Chelsea's second year. We're going to swap places this year. She's going to do maybe the bulk of the driving. I say she's going to do the driving, but then I'm kind of saving my driving for Glamis.
That sounds like a good plan. And a number of sister teams out here this year. You're one of the originals, though.
Yeah. Cool. It's great. I'm glad to have my sister. Now she has to come and be forced to hang out with me for 10 days every year.
It's like Thanksgiving at the Rebelle Rally.
Exactly. Exactly. Should have brought biscuits or something. Like a good casserole.
Now, are you done going through tech? Have you been to all the stations?
Almost. We need to have our required items looked over.
Sounds good. What are your required items?
So we have the whip flag for the dunes, a spill kit, the helmets, of course, and some triangles and stuff, fire extinguisher. I think that's all I can recall right now.
Clearly not your first rodeo.
The full-size spare.
Yeah. Thanks, April. We'll go back to Matthew and Rachelle.
Sorry, I put
All right. Thank you, Harry. April is a great competitor, and I love there's actually quite a few sister teams on the rally this year, as well as mother-daughter teams. I pointed out, I think yesterday, we've yet to see a granddaughter team. There we go. I got there.
Yeah, there you go.
So, if anybody out there, it hasn't been done yet.
Right.
All right. So, with all of our friends and family out there, we want to let you know how you can follow all the happenings of this year's Rebelle Rally. We've got Rebelle Rally on Instagram, Rebelle Rally Facebook. We've got rebellerally.com/live to tune into the live show every day.
So essentially what you're telling me, if someone can spell the word rebel, and rally's pretty easy, they're going to find a way to cover us.
They will find it.
Follow us.
And it's Rebelle with 2 L's. Rebel is 1 L.
Yes.
So don't confuse those two.
Yeah, it's not the Rebel Rally. That would look really different than what this is. This is the Rebelle.
It would. All right. And along with that, we've got a schedule popping up here any second that will give you we'd like to call this the ish start times. As we've said, it's live. We're out in the middle of nowhere. These are our goals, and you'll also find some afternoon hits on some of these courses with Matthew.
Yeah, I'll be out on course at times, just covering kind of as live to the action as we can. And all day I'll be in communication with Rachelle. Sometimes she'll be out there on the course with me. But our goal this year, if you were following last year, our goal this year is to do a more in-depth coverage of really what the points look like. And how they're likely to change, why they look the way they do. Maybe a team chose to bank a few easy days and solid points early in the week to save their energy for late in the week, or whatever that strategy is. And I'm sure Rachelle's going to be sharing with us as we go what that looks like.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun being on this side of it, and I get kind of the bird's eye view of all the teams. I can tell you the top teams usually have a very different strategy from maybe rookie teams or beginner teams. You know, some people are here just to enjoy the experience and have fun, which is awesome because you're still going to learn a lot from that. You've got middle teams who are maybe in year 2. They came and checked it out last year, and now they're like, all right, I'm willing to push it a little harder. Mm-hmm. And then you've got kind of that top 10, top 15 teams that are from day one. You're going to see them right out of the gate, strategizing, taking the hard path.
I wish I'm glad no one heard us, but we sounded like a couple of schoolgirls gossiping last night about the different teams. Like, oh, are they top 10? Oh, they're definitely top 10. Are they top 5? Maybe. They'll have to have a couple, here and there. But it's a lot of fun to keep up with. And the longer the rally goes, the more we get to know the different teams that keep coming back. And personally, I just feel a lot more settled in this space because I know personally a lot more of the competitors, how the flow goes, and that just means we're going to be able to do an even better job bringing you the information that keeps this event interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces to this rally, and we'll continually try, especially in the first couple days here, to really give you an inside look on really how this competition works. It is not like a race. It's not like the Baja 1000. It is not a race for speed. It is to gather enough points to get you to the end.
And to get those points, it takes a lot of focus. So there are some roads that maybe the driver would want to go, oh, this looks fun. But the moment the driver is going faster than the navigator is able to navigate with, you're losing your bearings. So the point is, you're laser focused. Even if you're not driving max pace, you're still laser focused on your mission at hand out there and the teamwork with navigator and co-driver, and it takes that, and that can be absolutely exhausting some of these days.
Absolutely. At the end of 8 days, so I was a driver. My amazing navigator is Taylor Polly. She absolutely took us to that finish line. It's a very taxing job. You are 100% focused all day long for 8 days.
So
if you make a mistake, that's the hardest part, is leaving that mistake behind you, continuing on regardless, and trying it again for your next checkpoint.
We're going to get plenty of practice of making our own mistakes here and just letting those flow by and just moving on, right?
Absolutely. That's an awesome shot of all those vehicles down there. You'll see the new Nissan Frontier. I think there are about 10 vehicle original equipment manufacturers this year.
It is such an incredible proving ground, this whole space. And actually, we've put together a little video about the Rebelle Rally being an ultimate proving ground.
The Rebelle is this incredibly unique proving ground because it's so authentic. It will throw everything it's got at a person, a product, or a vehicle, and that's weather, temperature, altitude, and terrain. The Rebelle really gives people and companies a chance to try their vehicle in every type of environment that it was designed to be driven in. People don't realize that these are engineering masterpieces. Especially in the women's market, it's really important that the Rebelle is not a watered-down event. It is tough for anyone at any level.
I have a lot of respect for the other women who are in stock vehicles because this is not easy.
I love that it's an opportunity for ladies to get together, to challenge themselves mentally, physically. The 8 days of competition is extremely demanding. You get an opportunity to step out of your comfort zone and push yourself to the next level.
The Rebelle is designed for the vehicles in our driveway, not for race cars, tube chassis vehicles. They're street legal cars that we drive every day. It was great to see the engineers at Honda really step up and say, this is where we want to test our vehicles.
At Honda, everybody has such a specific expertise within the company, and so this really allows them to, get a broader vision and exposure to the vehicle as a whole rather than just their own specialized component.
I really love our partners because they want our feedback. They want us to tell them what's working and what isn't working. We went the extra mile with this proving ground by putting in our technology partner, Mapbox.
It's a really exciting opportunity for us to get to work through the hardest questions that we have as a company trying to build a platform. What we need is to be able to give human beings better ways of making decisions and interpreting information. And so this is a really good, very close feedback loop between the paper map and the human being, and then you have to go out into the real world and find that place.
Seeing what's on the map versus how we've designed it is really a proving ground for what is our understanding of what a map means to someone.
What Mapbox is able to do is to take all this data and be able to put it into a map and a dashboard that companies can literally show to the world, or they can be sitting in an office halfway across the country or the world and be watching real time or near real time their product performance. And that is unique. It may may be this analog event, an analog competition, but it has this incredible technology backbone that we built into it. We don't say that the Rebelle is going to change your life. We just say that we've created a platform and it's your movie. But what we've seen and how we've seen people change is incredible.
I thought I was going to come into this learning a lot about navigation and driving, and I think the biggest thing I've learned about is about teamwork and perseverance, and letting other people believe in you more than you believe in yourself until you believe in yourself as much as they do.
Crossing the finish line on the final day of the Rebelle Rally is a badge of honor, because you have just gone through everything that we could throw at you, and you survived it. I always say that the Rebelle is like this Wizard of Oz journey, that whatever lesson you need to learn, it's going to be handed to you on the Rebelle.
Man, we're so lucky to have such a talented team to produce these incredible videos. That's a really good capture of how the Rebelle Rally is a proving ground. Obviously, when we think proving ground, we think about the vehicles first, but it's a proving ground for the other parts of the vehicles, the tires, the gear, the windshield wipers, it turns out. I've got Billy from Scrubblade here to tell us a bit about his product, the Scrubblade windshield wipers that you'll find on the Rebelle vehicles this year. So tell us about it. Tell us what's unique about Scrubblade.
Yeah, so Scrubblade, it's a normal windshield wiper, but what sets us apart is our technology. We have double blades, and on the outside of each blade it has triangle-shaped scrubbers molded into the rubber. And what that does is it agitates debris, bird droppings, dust, sand, whatever gets on the windshield beyond rain, and it actually helps clean the windshield and keeps the view clear.
I've definitely had plenty of, bugs and random things on the windshield that just get that long streak, and then I just get used to having that streak for a while until I'm willing to stop.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've found quite a bit of success in the commercial sector. Is that right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, so 18-wheel market. The 18-wheel market is huge for us because those guys travel through
over-the-road trucks.
Sleet, 100,000 plus miles a year. So that's really where we proved our stomping grounds, like where we proved ourselves.
Sure.
And then, but my background's BMX and off-road, and so the Rebelle is just the perfect fit. We never wanted to be part of a motorsport event or rally that they didn't use our blades. And so that's a huge thing for us, is for everyone to be able to use the blades, get the experience of what we've worked so hard to do.
That's really cool. Now having a product like that, a unique test on an existing kind of technology, right?
Like
it's
been out forever.
Blade, right? It's been out forever. Yeah. There you were, Billy, with an idea to do it better.
Yep.
And for anyone who's never come up with a product on your own before, it really takes something to have the confidence that you've done it better enough to make a dent in the market and do that. And I just congratulate you. Tell me which year you started the business?
2007.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2007 is when Scrubblade started, and it's evolved tremendously over the years, and we just couldn't be happier with it. And being here at the Hoover Dam with the Rebelle, and I mean, it's just amazing to see from, if you just follow your dreams, push hard, and never give up, where it can take you.
That's so cool. It's a pleasure to have you here today. I think your product is really cool and unique. It definitely looks like a better way to do, the same gizmo people have been just, resigned to having a mediocre product. And you've done something better. That's cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, a pleasure to have you here. We're going to shoot back out, check in with Harry, and maybe he'll show us some of the other stuff that's going to be part of our testing ground here of the Rebelle Rally.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matthew. Now I want some scrub blades for my truck. I don't get any, but I can't enter the Rebelle Rally, unfortunately. I'm just here working. I am here with a couple competitors, though, who have won in the past. Only winners in the X-Cross and 4x4 board classes in the past. And correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, but this is the first time you've competed 2 years in a row in the same vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep, first time we're bringing a same vehicle back, the Rivian R1T. Last year was pre-production vehicle. This year is full production. This came off the line in Normal, Illinois.
Yeah. Yeah, and we liked having the electric truck so much because it's such a different feeling when you're off-roading with all of the 900 plus pound-feet of torque. So it's so different from driving a Jeep or a Taco or a Porsche Cayenne, which I cannot wait to look at that vehicle because it's just without that extra torque. It just climbs up billy goats over everything. Plus, we have all kinds of like crazy features that nobody else has.
It's true.
Yeah.
So, Emmy, tell us more.
Do you like how I led that in? Well, let's show them the gear tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay, so the gear tunnel, this is a little passageway. This is a little passageway that goes all the way through, and you access. Oh, sorry, you got to press the brake. Yeah. There we go. So you can press this little button right here.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. There it goes. And then this opens.
And inside you've got our Max truck.
Right.
Max on Max on Max.
Yes. These are spare parts.
Yeah.
Which may or may not be with us.
But it'll go all the way through. And if you buy this truck, you can also get this equipped with a camp kitchen, which I actually haven't seen the camp kitchen, but apparently it pulls out and there's like a little 1-burner stove and a sink and all that like kind of crazy stuff. That's a little much for me. I get by with a jet boil. But for people who want to spend a lot of time on the road, like it's kind of a neat little feature.
And here we have Drew Deckman, Michelin star chef, cooking for us. So,
I don't need a kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Emmy Hall, Rebecca, Donna Gee. Sorry, thank you for correcting me.
Sorry.
Past winners, thank you for sharing your Rivian with us today. And comes equipped from the factory with Pirelli tires. As I recall, last year you did not have any tire issues. Is that correct?
None. The year before we had 3 flats.
Not on Pirellis. Let's specify.
The year before we were on snow tires for a lot of various and sundry reasons, just for a packaging problem that we had. So we had to do it on snow tires. So of course we're going to get a flat tire. But yeah, last year on the Scorpions we didn't have any flats. We don't anticipate any flats this year because we're carrying 2 spares. And as soon as you start carrying 2 spares, you don't have a flat. So that is going to come back to haunt me, isn't it?
We're carrying our rain gear so it won't rain.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, that's all good.
2 upright spares, for those that don't know, is Emmy's calling card. She's big on this. You can see here her Yeah Buddy sticky. The her Miata that is lifted and has 2 upright spares, and of course carry a Max Trax in case you get stuck, and a Demos shovel. So that's it for right now. We'll head back to you, Rachelle and Matthew.
Yay, thanks.
We're going to go get signed up.
Yeah.
Cool. Speaking of proving ground, like we were just before the video there, Rivian last year, I looked inside the vehicle. I was expecting it to be all super tech and super sexy, and there were some massive off buttons and random
for a charge,
for a power up. Yeah. And that's, we've planned it. We've put power available out in the field in a way that should keep them competing pretty much shoulder to shoulder with the gasoline counterparts. But those of you who know a little bit about solar are going to say, you guys do not have enough solar panels to power not only that Rivian, but we have a Volkswagen electric and 3 other electrified designated cars. So we're so happy to have a partnership with Renewable Innovations, and they have custom built a semi-rig that's coming out with these massive flower solar arrays on the side. I've got to get clear how much power this thing is generating, but it's going to not only power the base camp, but be able to recharge these electric vehicles overnight. It's quite a feat that we're pulling off here.
That is incredible. So Prologue Day is kind of a get your feet wet day. These teams, a lot of them throughout the year have gone out and practiced on their own. But this is the first time they'll actually get checkpoints in the morning. They need to plot those checkpoints, and it's the route to Base Camp 1. It is not scored. So this is the first time, and sometimes these teams don't know each other very well. So it's a great time to figure out your communication, make sure your odometer is correct, your terror trip is correct, are working in the vehicle. If there's something not working, you then have a certain amount of time to get to base camp. use the Prologue to figure out that problem and crawl under the car, go to a parking lot, make sure it was calibrated.
Second place. Earlier we don't get a warm-up day on day one. When the event starts, you have to be straight at top performance. So the Prologue really is that day to see okay, we're done kidding around. All the BS is done. We're out in the dirt. We're going to sleep in the dirt tonight. It's on. And let's get serious about it. Yeah. And you mentioned it's not scored. We don't count those scores, but we do keep score that day, right? So they everyone can see how well they did.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the trackers are live. I clarified that with you the moment I think they're installed on the vehicles.
Okay.
So the car's trackers are live. Tracking, I believe, will go up tomorrow. And so you can start following those teams. You will see where they're at, what they're doing. We have a lot of people say, like, half an hour, is something wrong? Don't worry, nothing's wrong. Usually, 99.9% of the time, they are stopping on the side of the road or parking lot to figure out those systems. As Matt said again, the Prologue is not scored. It gets you to Base Camp 1. They do have their phones. You do have your phones. Mm-hmm. So if you need to use them too, that's another way you can double check your systems. You can pull up Google Maps or OnX Off-Road, get yourself to Base Camp. We used to get to Base Camp 1 early and pull off in front of it and make our last phone calls to our loved ones.
Oh, sweet.
So we'd say, love you to the kids, all that good stuff, because as soon as you cross that line into Base Camp 1, you turn those things in, you're done for the next 8 days.
And out comes your map and compass. How long might you spend there sitting in one spot just trying to get really clear about where to drive next? How long might you be working on that with your driver or navigator?
It's kind of a varying question. It depends on if you're a beginner, intermediate, expert team. That can range from 5 minutes to an hour. If you're lost, it could be 3 hours.
That you're looking at your map, trying to uncross your eyes and figure out just where to drive forward.
Absolutely.
I think a common question a lot of our viewers probably have, and I'm just throwing this out there, is, well, if it's hard to find these things, why don't they just follow each other? Because they can see each other. Why don't you just follow another team?
Yeah, that's a great question. So especially this year with 52 teams, I believe there are going to be between 2 and 3 different courses every day. Basically, if they really wanted to follow each other, they could, honestly. It takes the fun out of it. But you don't know what course they're on or if their checkpoint is your checkpoint. And if you're going for those black checkpoints, which are not marked in any way, nobody knows if they're right. So the team, you're completely lost. So that's a gamble that you're taking.
It's a big gamble. You might take that gamble if you're just over it and need to get to base camp, but anyone that's out here competing is not going to follow another car. Like she said, we've got different orders of checkpoints. In different ways, in different orders, and there's X checkpoints, X routes, the black diamond checkpoints. We're going to be going over all of that tomorrow. I know there's lots of technical questions about the functioning of how the scores and all that work. Morning's show.
Absolutely. So just as a reminder, if you guys want to follow us out there, tell your friends, tell your Rally, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and rebellerally.com. Today, maybe 3 times a day.
I think on the website that there's a way to put in your email so that you get notifications for when we are going live.
I believe
like
so.
That.
There's
We're going
also
to figure that out for you.
Yes, we will figure that out. Over guys at the finish line tomorrow evening at our first base camp.
All right, no morning show tomorrow. I was wrong. It's the evening show tomorrow, and then every successive day we'll have a morning and evening piece. I think that through some of the social media, you can leave comments. So there's something you want to know. Reach out and interact with us. We'd love to hear from you and hear what the questions are out in the field, and we'll do our best to get a good answer for you.
Absolutely. If we're seeing a common, we're allowed to answer that. So please let us know. You can also sign up for the Rebelle Rally newsletter. I believe those updates go out nightly or in the morning every day. And that kind of gives you the recap of the day's events, top teams, the good, the bad, the ugly, hopefully not too much ugly.
Get lost without getting lost. When your adventure takes you off the beaten path, Iridium is there. Iridium satellite weather conditions, rugged and easy to use, Iridium and Iridium connected devices deliver peace of mind for you and your loved ones through real-time two-way voice calling, text messaging, photo sharing, social media, GPS,